Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an Alliance War gameplay video. I'm going to be showing you guys an initial kind of half clear of the right-hand side, which I usually do in the mornings. Now, with this particular one, I've actually got quite a lot of advice and a few tips that I'm going to give out. Now, on the right-hand side, this node is pretty much like always a face roll. Like, I just do it for the additional points of exploration, especially when you have Scarlet Witch. There's not really too much or any character that can like greatly punish this node. The only one that's slightly annoying is Electro. He's always a bit of a nuisance, but as you can see, we had a magic there, but it was too damn easy. I think you gotta accept that that node's like quite an easy node, so I'd either like, on that node ideally, I'd either place like an Electro, because Electro is pretty much good for every node, or Deadpool X-Force, because, you know, his power regen at the lower health levels can really like screw people over if you get hit by a level 3. So now we're up against the 60-second bleed node, and for this one, when you enter the fight, you are going to get a bleed that does 100% of your health over 60 seconds. Now, usually when seeing this node, a lot of people choose to go with a Vision or a bleed immune champion, which I believe makes Electro such a great champion to place on this node, because there's no way that you can actually fully clear this node without taking a little bit of damage if you have an Electro on the node, because even if you go in with like a dupe level 99 Black Widow, she's still going to have the bleed, so there's no way to like fully play around this node, and that's what I really like. If you place an Electro on this node, he's a god tier champion for this node. But this one, usually, I like to use Scarlet Witch and just hope to get lucky for a regen procs. It was an Unstoppable Colossus, which again, I don't think is a great champion to use on this node. It's certainly not one I would do, but I feel like a lot of the defenders in this video were relying on having Mystic Dispersion, and I don't think that mastery is properly utilized until you have 550 champions on like some of the later nodes. But in terms of dragging out the fight and getting as much bleed damage as possible, that was an alright option to place on the node. However, if I had a Vision, I could have done that and not taken any damage. But, you know, I've got the Star-Lord and the Captain America, so I generally like to play it a little bit rough with the old Scarlet Witch. So the next node is an Optimism and Outlast node. So basically, as the opponent's health gets lower, your damage slows down, and also when they go below 25%, they gain additional armor and damage and a bit of resistance as well. And I feel like on this node, champions, again, like, I don't think Juggernaut is a bad option. I feel like, however, a Duked Rhino or Duke Hulkbuster is so much of a better option, especially with the synergy of their Awakened ability, where when they kind of go to low health percentages, they get up to, well, Rhino gets up to 70% additional physical resistance, and Hulkbuster gets up to 75% armor. Whereas Juggernaut, as he gets lower, doesn't really get, like, anything, and again, with a Scarlet Witch, you can really face roll it. So ideally, I think Rhino's best for this node, but as you can see, we dropped that Juggernaut so damn quickly. Now, moving on to the next node, and I really have to applaud the defense here. This is one of my favorite combinations of champion and node in the game, and this is the Unblockable level 2 node. And you're going to see in a second, guys, they are using a champion that is so ridiculously good. And I sucked, guys. I slipped up. It is hard to fight this champion on Unblockable level 2 for so many reasons, especially when you have the Mystic Dispersion mastery. Especially with everybody in the game pretty much having the evade mastery, Mystic Dispersion is so good, because if you like swipe back a couple of times and get a couple of evades and those expire, then that is pretty much enough power to get to a level 3, which you're going to see happen straight off the bat here. Was trying to bait that level 2. So Doctor Strange, especially on Unblockable level 2, very tricky champion to actually bait the level 2, because you have to like swipe back and then you have to block. I don't believe you can fully evade it without the use of a Daredevil. So yeah, again, that makes Daredevil like quite a good attacker, especially dealing with Unblockable level 2s. But as you're going to see here, just get absolutely wrecked by it. Missed the swipe back on that. However, we did manage to fire off the level 2. We got a decent amount of damage there, took the Doctor Strange to about 40%. And we're going to finish off the fight with the Scarlet Witch. So the kind of plan here with the Scarlet Witch at the start was just to hopefully get extremely lucky and either, you know, get the power drain, the power lock, or the stun off in the Doctor Strange after the initial heavy attack and parry. Or parry, should I say. So we are currently getting smacked by that unblockable level 2. Damn, it's so good. I love Doctor Strange on this node. Got to appreciate that placement, boys. But anyway, as you can see, we got a little bit lucky there with the power steal and power drain. Now we've got a power lock, and then finished it off with a level 2. Overall, though, you can really get a grasp of how great Doctor Strange is on that unblockable level 2. I think, kind of in the future, and I'm thinking about this a little bit, I might replace Captain America with my dupe Daredevil if I ever get him up to 550, but then again, I could just get a little bit better at evading. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, leave a like, take care, have a great day.